Hey everybody, it's Harry from Ready BBQ, the YouTube channel that teaches you how to master barbecue so you can spread barbecue love. I'm fascinated with aging steaks, and you've seen many of my steak aging videos already on my channel. In this episode, I'm going to explore doing some pork aging on some beautiful pork ribeyes. And I'm going to try to do it using 3 ways. We're going to use a butter aging. We're going to use the Umai bag, which I used on the steak. And we're also going to use a Cryovac aging. We're going to age it for about maybe a week and a half. And I'm going to cook up these pork chops and then taste the results and share with you which is the optimum method for dry aging or wet aging or butter aging your pork chops. Here's the pork chop. We're gonna do a Umai bag, dry aging. And here's the Umai bag. Umai bag is kind of like a Gore-Tex bag, and it's a semi-permeable so that the air can come out of it and it dries out the pork. So it kind of like desiccates the pork chop. That's how the dry aging works. And then the enzymes within the pork itself will begin to break down the pork, create better flavor. In the traditional dry aging, in a commercial aging house, you're relying on the enzymatic action that's contained within the pork to break the pork down. You're also involving the pork drying out, which is called desiccation, to reduce the amount of moisture in the protein, to concentrate the flavor. And the third thing that you get, which I'm not going to be able to get, is getting some mold to grow on the dry aged pork. And the mold includes some of that white fuzz you see when you go and see an Italian deli, and they have that kind of salami white mold. Some of it is called Penicillin genovese. Some of it is Saccharomyces cerevisiae and a whole bunch of other penicillin-based molds. But for this one here, I'm just going to rely on the pork kind of aging through a drying process and the enzymatic process within the pork chop. So I'm going to place this carefully after drying it into a Umai bag. So I'm ready to seal the pork chop in the Umai dry aging bag. Here's a bag mouse. This is a kind of a little fluffy thing that allows the air to be sucked out. On the Umai bag, it's very unusual because the inside is smooth, the outside is rough. If you don't put a bag mouse, there's not enough room for it to suck the air out. Unlike a food saver bag, which is kind of rough on the inside, this is not. So I'm gonna put it into my sealer here and put the bag mouse. I'm gonna seal a portion of it first, like so, to get the air out. Press it down, do a seal, back and seal. Okay, seal one side. When the light goes off, I'm gonna pop it open, like so. So I've sealed one side now. Now I wanna place the back mouse here and get it to seal. And the nice thing about using a Umai bag is that it does not have to be 100% seal because it's gonna let air in anyway. So don't worry if you cannot get a perfect seal. It's gonna fold this back mouse little foam thingy in half. So seal this side with the vacuum. So properly here. Okay, done. Okay, so one down. Okay, let's do the next one. Here's the second one I'm going to do. This is going to be a straight food saver, Cryovac. Get the food saver back here. Make sure you dry it up first. You see? label it. This is the cryo. Okay, good. Okay. We're ready to soak the pork chop in butter. So I have some melted butter here. We're gonna smother it in butter and then let it age for about a week to 10 days. Compare that to the Umai bag aging and see which one we like better. And I'm just gonna smother it in butter, leave it in a tray. Mr. Beans, do you want to try some? Mr. Beans is having a little medical issue, so he's having his collar on. So look at that, Beans. We're gonna serve you some pork chop in a little bit. So poor thing, he's been scratching his tail. So we'll have to cook him some pork chops and serve him a little bit later. It's been 7 days and I'm ready to now prep the pork chops for cooking. Here's the butter, the Umai, the cryo, and then the regular one. We'll prep it and cook it up and see which one tastes the best. This one's the Umai bag one. The color has changed a little bit. It's kind of like dried out a little bit here. Become very red. Looks a bit desiccated. And let's get this one going here. Now people always ask me, Harry, do you reuse the butter? I suppose you could, but I prefer not to. Butter is very inexpensive, so I prefer not to reuse the butter here. Here are the 4 pork chops. Looks like this one, the Umai, has the darkest red color. The other 3 looks pretty unchanged. The cryo, the regular one, the sat in the refrigerator, and the butter, they look the same. And then the Umai one looks a little bit dried out, but that's the only discernible difference I can tell from these 4 different pork chops. The pork chops now have a light smoke on them, and I'm getting ready to sear them on the grill grate. So I'm heating up the gas grill now. So once they get up to about 550 degrees on the grill grate ridges, we're gonna go ahead and sear these lightly smoked pork chops. The internal temperature is probably around 120 right now. I want to get it to about 135 to 140 for some medium pink middle pork chops. We're going to do a taste test. I only have salt on it, nothing else. So we're going to see how the Umai versus the butter versus the cryo versus the regular pork chop will taste like. Okay, put it to look out. Butter, Umai. All right, 149, 150. 42, 150-ish, 150-ish, okay, oh, about 150, about medium. All right, let's cut this up here. First one is the regular one. I'm gonna cut up the slices from the middle. and slices from the cap. This one is the cryo. Alright, and this one is going to be the Umai bag H. And the last one is going to be the butter aged. Okay, so the fun part. I'm gonna eat my way through the first one. Let's try the regular one first. Second one's the cryo aging. This one try the Umai bag. And last one is the butter. Well, I ate the first pass, so I'm gonna go back and have a second pass to see if I can tell any difference between the meats here. I've eaten my way through about 3 passes of the meat here, from the regular to the cryo to the Umai to the butter age. So drum roll please. So the 2 finalists that seems to taste better by a small margin is the Umai and the butter. The regular one and the Cryovac were okay. So if this was a 9 was an excellent score, I would say these 2 probably score like 8. And the 2 that I thought was very good was the butter and the Umai bag. So I would say this is a 9, which is a KCBS perfect score. Now, what's the difference between the Umai and the butter is that I think that today the Umai wins by a smidgen, just a tiny smidgen, maybe like a 9.5 versus a 9. And both are good eating, and all 4 pork chops are wonderful eating, don't get me wrong. They are all very, very good eating, but if I had to do a side-by-side test, I can discern slight differences between the Umai and then the butter. So today's shootout, Umai bag wins by a hair over the butter, and a very close tie runner-up is going to be the regular as well, the Cryovac. So today have it a little very, very unscientific, anecdotal experiment of aging a pork chop 4 different ways. Please don't send me any comments or hate mail saying that this is wrong. This is just one set of data points. I only have 4 data points, so this is not a scientific test at all by any means. From now on, I know what to do. The Umai bag is probably a good alternative versus the butter, but actually the Umai bag is kind of expensive because the bag costs like $10 each. So to age it Umai bag style, you probably need a bigger pork chop to kind of get your money's worth. The butter aging is pretty simple. You can just kind of smother your butter and it'll be pretty good. This is only about I think about 10 days, so obviously if you age it longer, your results will vary. So this concludes another video from Harry, Slap Your Daddy Barbecue. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share, and I have plenty more videos coming your way soon.